Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, class with a mission. How many prospective officers are starting training today? Plus, retaliations in the Gulf, how Iran is responding after major combat operations by the U.S. and who Tehran is targeting. Plus, total ban, why one school district is adopting a new policy regarding devices in the classroom and what they're looking to achieve. Well, we begin with the presidential address to the nation happening tonight. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jay Coleman. President Trump is set to speak to Americans in a primetime speech from the White House, a speech already drawing controversy even before it happens. Among the things he is set to discuss, results of the 2020 presidential election in which he lost to former President Joe Biden. Now, according to ABC News, he is likely to detail information that he has recently received from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Right now, it is unclear what the information contains, but the president is expected to push claims the election was rigged, leading to his loss.
President Trump will deliver a major address to the nation on protecting the integrity of our elections, and we encourage every American to tune in.
Now, to break down how many times such speeches have been boycotted in the past and why, tune in at 5 o'clock to find out. And we also want to hear your take on the president's speech tonight. We have a poll up on our website at klkntv.com. We're asking, are you concerned about election security? Head there right now and submit a response. Let us know what you think. And stick around to find out just how many people share your opinion when we reveal the results right here in our 6 p.m. news. Well, time now for a look at your Thursday evening weather as we prepare for a hot streak. Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins has our forecast for us this afternoon. Rusty, what can you tell us?
We're watching really the entire U.S. There's so much going on today, and you can see there's a lot of activity just to our south and east. See this area right here? There's a reason for that. Now, huge area of high pressure continues to be slowly making its way to the east, but look at this. See how it's going around like this? Well, that's right where we are. And sure enough, that's where all the thunderstorms are at. Nothing of this is severe by any stretch, but a lot of lightning in and around Kansas City. Then when you get closer to southeast Nebraska, spot showers, maybe a rumble of thunder every now and then. Temperatures right now are in the, interestingly, right around 80 in Lincoln. Guess why? It's because it's raining. So rain, cooled air. This may keep us from getting to 90 degrees today. It is 90 in Omaha, 93 in Norfolk, 93 in O'Neill. So lots of upper 80s and 90s, but once you see the rain, look at the difference there between Lincoln and Beatrice, 80 and 92. So also because of the rain, we're at 70 for that dew point in Lincoln, everybody else in the middle and upper 60s. So the heat index a little wonky because of that rain, but a lot of us in the lower and middle 90s for that heat index. We'll eventually drop into the middle 70s, so it is going to be a warm overnight. That's going to lead to a lot of heat. That forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Let's take a live look now of some roads around the capital city. Wow, you can already see traffic starting to back up there right here on 14th Street in Old Cheney. Of course, not too many cars seen up there right now, but be prepared. That change is going to happen very quickly every minute as we approach rush hour here very soon. Right now, a new class is officially underway for future law enforcement officers. The training academy consists of 20 Lincoln Police Department recruits and 3 Lancaster County Sheriff's Office recruits. LPD posting these photos of their orientation today, full of paperwork, headshots, fingerprints, and uniform fittings. Coming up here tonight on News at 5, we'll tell you why this class is special as they prepare to fill a major gap in the police department. You also get to see how their first day of training is going. Well, also some encouraging stats on Nebraska's official tool for people with mental health and substance abuse struggles. The Department of Health and Human Services saying the 988 suicide and crisis lifeline helped more than 35,000 Nebraskans last year alone. They say it's been a critical service for people with emotional distress, mental health challenges, and substance use crisis. Today marks 4 years since its launch back in 2022. Well, retaliatory strikes in the Middle East as U.S. and Iran trade attacks Gulf countries, saying they intercepted more drones and missiles today. ABC's Libby Rubin reports.
Iran today releasing video saying it's launching more missiles targeting U.S. bases and facilities in the Middle East. Kuwait and Jordan saying they intercepted hostile drones and missiles. The United States carrying out more strikes too. A U.S. aircraft fired at an oil tanker that attempted to violate the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports. U.S. Central Command saying the tanker ignored multiple warnings as it moved toward Karg Island, the Iranian oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. The White House today saying this.
The president is not going to allow them to fire on ships in the Strait without paying a consequence for that.
With the ceasefire over and the war nearing 5 months, sources say President Trump held a meeting in the Situation Room this week to discuss his options in Iran, including possible targets, after renewing his threat to bomb Iranian bridges and power plants as soon as next week.
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. They better behave.
But in what the president is calling a gesture of goodwill, Iran on Wednesday freeing a wrongfully detained American citizen held since 2024. The woman's lawyer identifying her as Dina Karari, a U.S. Iranian citizen who the lawyer said, quote, has been trapped in Iran on bogus charges of collaboration with a hostile state and espionage.
And of course, many here at home are tracking the economic impacts of all of this. The price of oil is climbing back up, and some experts are warning that the price for a gallon of gas could hit $4 once again. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Now to some new details on a monumental mural here in Lincoln. The Persian mural now standing tall and complete at the Wyuka Park Cemetery. The final pieces all coming together to fill that spot you're seeing right here on an local news app. Actually, officials, community members, and the media coming together to witness the new face of what is now one of the largest freestanding murals in the world. Channel 8 was there capturing the big reveal and proud reactions from those who put it all together. And those witnessing tonight at 5 o'clock, Channel 8's Rod Fowler breaks down why it was so important for the people to be a part of this project. Well, now an update on a story you'll only see on 8. The three-point marathon rounding up last night at Lincoln Southeast High. The girls basketball team meeting their goals and pushing themselves in a 12-hour challenge to make at least 10,000 shots from 9 yesterday morning to 9 at night. And here are those final numbers. The team finishing with 10,382 shots made. They made 3 pointers, of course, including 4 players who each hit more than 1,000 shots on their own. The challenge meant to help them prepare for a competitive season ahead. Well, new at 4:30, a new drug is coming to the market for people with cholesterol-related health issues. The FDA says it has approved a first-of-its-kind medicine from drug maker Merck. The company says Lipfendra is the only oral inhibitor of PCSK9. That's a protein the liver makes that's linked to higher cholesterol. Similar drugs come as injectables. Now, the other pills also address cholesterol in a different way. The FDA says in clinical trials, Lipfendra lowered LDL-C cholesterol by more than 50% compared to placebos. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with a fresh batch of stories for you right here on Channel 8, including a double threat, the drastic episodes of severe weather facing people in parts of the country and how they are all pulling through. Plus, all new at 5, pool problems. The pressing call for action from one neighborhood swimming pool as they look for critical funding to reopen their doors years after closure. New details tonight. Lincoln police announced they've safely located the previously missing person. 14-year-old Maylee Figueroa has been located and is now safe. Authorities are thanking the public for its assistance, but have not released any other details surrounding her disappearance. She was reported missing June 20th, leaving Bryan West Hospital. LPD first requesting public help finding her on July 2nd. We're developing now, extreme weather impacting a good chunk of the country. Smoke from Canadian wildfires reaching most states east of the Mississippi River and north. This is a look right here, which has a hazy yellow tinge near Chicago. Meanwhile, flash flood emergencies in Texas today, also including in Kerrville along the Guadalupe River. That's the Texas Hill Country area where the deadly Camp Mystic flooding occurred just last summer. As ABC's Rena reports, water rescues are underway.
Life-threatening flooding in central Texas today, with torrential rain prompting water rescues and evacuations in Texas Hill Country.
Highway 7, the 6200 block just before Boardwalk is completely impassable. There's about two or 3 foot of water, and it's rising.
The National Weather Service issuing a flash flood emergency, including a large and deadly flood wave along the Guadalupe River around Kerrville. Parts of the Guadalupe River rising more than 30 feet in 4 hours before cresting. The conditions expected to be similar to that catastrophic river flood on July 4th, 2025 that killed more than 130 people, including dozens of children at Camp Mystic. Rain falling at about 2 to 4 inches per hour in an area already saturated by wet weather. In Uvalde, more than a half year's worth of rain fell in the last 48 hours. Nearby in Ingram, an animal rescue still trying to recover from last year's flood, telling ABC News its animals are safe, but it lost all of its structures overnight for the second time.
It took everything again. I hate this. So tired of this.
In the San Antonio suburb of Boerne, this woman rescued from the roof of her car. Floodwaters barreling through the streets, overtaking neighborhoods. Just north of San Antonio, at least one tornado confirmed. Tornado warnings also issued in the Uvalde area.
Now, in the next 24 hours, an additional 8 to 12 inches of rain is possible across parts of Hill Country. Tomorrow is when things are expected to finally start drying out. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, scorching hot temps making its way through southeast Lincoln. For a closer look at that and how long it could last, here's Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
Always seems to be the case, too, where it's feast or famine. They've got way too much rain to the south in parts of Texas, and then here we're begging for a raindrop. And that's about what we have right now. In fact, just spot showers and isolated thunderstorms are out there. More so to our south, Kansas seeing a little bit more, and then over here towards Kansas City. But in southeast Nebraska, a line here moving into Otoe County, just south of Nebraska City. Beatrice might be hearing 1 or 2 rumbles of thunder, and then a line here between Tobias, in between Cretin and Seward towards the capital city. In fact, I'll zoom into that area. Milford probably watching those storm clouds right now, just west of Malcolm. Just to the north and east, if you're traveling between Lincoln and Waverly and then headed up I-80, likely going to get some raindrops. It's not a big deal, but we'll take whatever rain we can get. 48th and Cornhusker Highway, hey, they cleaned this all up. This was all broken up yesterday, and now it looks like he's probably the reason why. And now we're just seeing, oh, look at that, there looks like they're watering the cement. No, I can't tell. It's just still fascinates the heck out of me. Precipitation so far, we're less than an inch below average, which isn't bad because there are some states that are way below average. But for Lincoln, 16.28, normal is just over 17. Temperature-wise, over the last 24 hours, most of the day has been in the 80s. We do just briefly peak at 90. Today we peaked at 91. And then overnight low temperatures, at least they're dropping into the 60s. That helps a little bit. I think that's about to come to an end, though. But that makes for a fantastic pool forecast. The next few days, you're looking at mostly sunny skies, 92, 96, 98, not a whole lot of wind, lots of sunshine. If you have the means to get to the pool, and even just one of those kiddie pools, those are fantastic. I mean, you just dip your feet in there, cool drink, nothing better. Temperatures tonight will eventually drop into the 70s by midnight. So we're still going to be in the 80s all the way through 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It's just unfortunate. Now the satellite and radar, one more look at this. We have a lot going on to our south and east in those scattered showers and thunderstorms in southeast Nebraska. A couple more over here towards North Platte too. It looks like we have another chance for that tomorrow. I'll talk about that later though. Temperatures cooler in Lincoln, 80 degrees, 90 in Columbus. The forecast for early tomorrow morning, I think we're stuck in the 70s, but we'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Now here's a live look at your roads around Lincoln. This is a view of 17th and O Streets in the downtown area. Traffic seems to be moving pretty smooth at the moment, which is a good sign to see as we approach rush hour here at 5 o'clock. Well, new 4:30, a total device ban for one local school district. Officials at Shelton Public Schools announcing that kids will not be allowed to have any phones, tablets, or other electronics in class during school hours. They say students can bring those devices to school, but they will have to have them stored in their lockers or backpacks, keeping them away. Officials say the ban is meant to reduce distractions for students in class. Well, the city of Columbus needs volunteers to help them bring food to people in the senior care center. The city is looking for drivers specifically. They say each delivery would take about 15 to 30 minutes, but the impact will be far-reaching. Right now, people in the Cornhusker state are apparently among those with the highest financial pressure.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Major Ward. A new study is taking a look at where Americans are feeling the most financial pressure. Nebraska landing near the top of that list at number 15. Wallet Hub comparing all 50 states using factors like credit score and bankruptcy filings. The state that took first place is none other than Nebraska's neighbor to the south, Kansas. Wallet Hub says the state is seeing an increase in the amount of people using payment relief options, while Maine is ranked as the state with the least amount of financial stress due to its low number of bankruptcy filings.
Trending now, Toy Story 5 is dominating the box office since its release last month. A new study shows that Toy Story series has generated $51 billion in economic activity for Disney since it first premiered, of course, back in 1995. Much of that, though, coming from consumer product sales, including everything from salaries to the sales of clothing, toys, and games. It also factors in transportation, tourism, and manufacturing revenues related to seeing those movies, visiting theme park attractions, and producing Toy Story merchandise. Millennials who grew up with these characters have driven the most economic impact. They say nearly half of the overall economic impact occurred here in the U.S. We have more for you when we come back. That includes a scary near miss, how beachgoers in Florida escaping potential catastrophe during an air show, and what U.S. military officials are doing to address a dangerous mistake. Plus, all new at 5, Paul Therapy, a local family battling a debilitating disease. Meet the special furry friend helping a mom and her child through the tough daily challenges. The story you only see right here on 8. frightening moment after an air show gone wrong. Listen, a Florida beach will never forget. 2 Blue Angel aircrafts giving beachgoers a scare of their lives, and now growing calls for an investigation. ABC's Hannah Battah explains.
Overnight, the Blue Angels confirming they will conduct a review after a jet buzzed this crowded beach during an air show in Pensacola, Florida. The blast of air tossing tents and chairs across the sand as beachgoers screamed.
I've been coming for 10 years, and I've never seen a pass like that in my life. I literally thought we were going to be taken out by Blue Angels, but it was amazing.
One jet can be seen flying over the water, but seconds later, a second jet thunders over the crowd, kicking up sand, chairs, and umbrellas in its wake. The Blue Angels saying during an arrival maneuver, an aircraft flew lower than the standard profiles, resulting in a disturbance on the beach. Team leadership is reviewing the circumstances surrounding the maneuver and conducting a thorough safety review. It's not the military's first beach flyover controversy this month. 8 South Carolina National Guard helicopter pilots were suspended after this low pass over a beach on July 4th. Days later, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reversed the punishments, saying, "Carry on, Patriots." Hegseth also lifted the suspensions of these Army pilots who hovered near singer Kid Rock's home in Tennessee earlier this year. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Time now for a final check at your weather and traffic together. Here's Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
This is kind of cool. If you were watching earlier, you saw the radar where the thunderstorms are at in southeast Nebraska. Well, this is Aurora, a little further west towards central Nebraska, and you can see thunderstorms trying to pop up on the horizon there. So kind of cool to see them from a distance. A lot of blue sky, though, overhead here. And a bit of a breeze, and temperatures around 90 in the Aurora, Grand Island, Tri-Cities area. Also around 90 by 6 p.m. I think we'll warm back up into the 90s as the afternoon wears on. Temperatures, though, will stay on the mild side, lower 70s, warm right back up. Try to cool off. Don't really get the, look at that, middle 70s by early Saturday morning. And by Saturday afternoon, you're looking at the middle, eventually the upper, and maybe even the upper 90s and near 100 a little further north and west. How much rainfall are we looking at? I mean, just not enough. We desperately need a lot more, but there's just not any in the forecast as we head through the weekend and into the beginning of next week. If we see anything, it's kind of like those spot showers that we've had today, maybe even again tomorrow. So the potential for precipitation just isn't that high, and it really looks like that is going to continue for some time. So we'll have more forecast details and talk about the rainfall chances and how hot it's going to get over the next several days coming up. Just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Rusty. Here's one last look at your roads here. This is 14th Street and I-80. Highway looks fairly empty for the time being, but hey, we know that will change soon. That's going to do for your Channel News here at 4:30. Rod Fowler up next along with our team of reporters and now with citizen journalists at the top of the hour here. Stick with us.
Come see us at our new South Point location. Locally owned Comfort Made Mattress Factory, handcrafted, built right here and backed with a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join.
Do you need hearing support? Don't be left out of the conversation. Here at Christensen Hearing Analytics, we understand that better hearing is better living. We provide the hearing solutions you need. Contact Christensen Hearing Analytics for a free consultation today and write the happy ending to your hearing story.
Craving a mouth-watering sub sandwich? Look no further than Sid's Deli and Subs. Serving fresh, made-to-order subs with your choice of sliced meats and cheeses on our soft, fresh-baked bread. Come and taste the Sid's Deli difference. Sid's Deli and Subs, 33rd and Cornhusker, Lincoln.
Locally owned since 1963, Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln offers a huge variety of RVs. Unlike competitors' same old models, your choice is always uniquely yours. All types, all styles, all price ranges. Get out and live life. Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln. Camp better.
Chevy drivers across America will do a lot in the next 5 years. But one thing they won't do is pay interest on their new Chevy. Right now, get 0% financing for 5 years on all 2026 Silverado 1500 models. With no payments for 90 days. because you've earned this summer. Now it's time to go get it.
Visit your Greater Nebraska Chevy dealers today.
Someone who gets your sense of style is appreciated, especially after being in a hospital gown all week. The Synergy Effect, brought to you by Synergy Home Care.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has continued to be your trusted, locally owned and operated plumbing and HVAC professionals for over 100 years because of you, our loyal customers.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Thank you, Lincoln. Thank you, Lincoln.
Whether it's through your plumbing or heating and air needs or giving back to the community like sponsoring Lincoln Youth Football and the Capital Humane Society, we look forward to continuing the tradition of our family serving your family.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Founded and operated by American veterans and patriots, we are a personal injury law firm that brings a warrior ethos to every case. We are Barry Law.
At Trudy's Dog Motel, we offer only this: personal professional attention and care for your pet when you're away. Trudy's, part of the Polaris Veterinary Center at 2000 North 112th. Trudy's, since 1963, your pet's home away from home.
It's not always about hitting the right notes. It's about a career in tune with your life. The Synergy Effect, brought to you by Synergy Home Care.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Now at 5, speech speculation.
It's really big news. It's really, really big news.
President Trump set to address the nation tonight.
I would encourage everyone to tune in tonight.
What we just learned about what he'll say. We explain the process the networks go through to reach the decision whether to air these addresses and how often in the past they've been off air. Plus, a disturbing discovery where Lincoln police located a body and what they know about the person. Also tonight, Crop Corridor, the new initiative just getting underway aiming to accelerate ag growth along I-80.
The thing's gigantic and made out of imperfect 1-inch by 1-inch tiles.
And finally finished, Channel 8 is there as the last piece is put into place on the Pershing Memorial, asking people involved why it's so important to keep a part of Nebraska history alive. And a water fight of a different kind, what a local pool is asking families to do in hopes of reopening. But first, breaking now, cyclospora has found its way to Lancaster County. Channel 8 was just notified minutes ago from the health department. They have confirmed 5 cases of it. It's a parasite that can cause intestinal illness and severe diarrhea. It's currently linked to several outbreaks throughout the U.S. Now, we should point out, local health officials tell us they usually see cyclospora cases over the summer each year, and the current case numbers are not above average at this time. First tonight, a story of hope and courage only on 8.
Here is if the individual falls on their face, they will suffocate. So the dog is going to come in, he's going to push the head to the side, and he's going to lay down, keeping the head up so they don't choke.
SIOD is one of the rarest disorders in the world, with only 10 cases in the U.S. and only 1 here in Nebraska. Emily. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rod Fowler. Emily's family was told she'd only lived to be about 9 years old, but last week she celebrated her 23rd birthday. Her mom says she's consistently beating the odds, and right by her side, her support dog, Hamilton, giving her strength. Channel 8's Danielle Da Silva spoke to the Lincoln nonprofit that helped bring the duo together, and also she spoke to Emily's mom. Danielle?
Rod, Emily has a history of severe migraines and mobility problems, seizures, and neurological issues. And right here, this handsome guy, Hamilton, has been by her side for the entire journey. He's given her physical support and emotional support. And right now, both Hamilton and I are in Lincoln at Domestic Pups, where it all began, where his training began. He's here because things took a turn for the worst for Emily, and she's been in the ICU for the past 6 days. So as we're here waiting, here's a little bit of how her family is staying resilient. SIOD, or Shimki-immuno-osseous dysplasia, was a complete mystery to the Kester family when their daughter Emily was first diagnosed at the age of 5.
It's a multi-system disorder. And to boot, her dad and I had a 1 in 3 million chance of getting together and having a child with SIOD.
Disease has made Emily small in stature, a trait that influenced the name of her family's group, Little Giants Foundation, pushing for research.
We have so much power within this one child, this one foundation, this one community, this one disease that we could help so many other people with.
The family has been in touch with others around the world, teaching them what they know and giving back to the communities that have helped them, like Domestic Pups in Lincoln, a nonprofit training dogs for people just like Emily.
So truly, training a service dog takes about 2 years. So there's a whole lot that goes into that.
Hamilton met Emily. He was ready, many saying they had an instant connection.
So he knows her. He understands her moods. He understands when she doesn't feel well and what to do with it. Especially, you know, when you get to be a young adult, you don't always want mom and dad there with you all the time.
Hamilton keeps Emily strong. And as per her mom, Emily is keeping their family going as well.
Well, she is a little spitfire. We always say she has an old soul and she loves to do practical jokes. Humor is a big part of our lives because if, you know, you just kind of have to, or it gets too deep, too dark.
As for the group at Domestic Pups, they considered the Kesters family too and aren't going anywhere.
After we place the dog, we're still here for the whole duration of this relationship. We're not going anywhere. We try to go to their fundraisers and support them. They come to ours. So we truly have an ongoing working relationship. We really appreciate what they do.
The foundation has an upcoming golf tournament in October where they're hoping to fundraise money for researchers so they can keep studying this rare disorder. Now, as for the family, they're taking it one day at a time. They're hoping the next step is that Emily will get moved into the rehabilitation unit over at UNMC. Now, here at Domestic Pups, the very supportive folks here will continue keeping Hamilton company, keeping him safe until Emily is ready to have him home. Reporting live, Danielle De Silva, Channel 8 News.
All right. Thank you so much, Danielle. Great to meet Emily and Hamilton. Let's get a look at your first forecast tonight. Some dark clouds sitting over the capital city tonight. That's what citizen journalist Melanie is showing us in this video shared to our Now Local News app. You can scan that QR code and download the app to share your videos with us. Now let's take a live look from our network of cameras across southeast Nebraska. Warm and muggy today, mostly cloudy, and some areas saw some rain. Where? Did it amount to much? Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
They were very spotty, and we'll look at the radar here in just a second. I do want to talk about the air quality, though, well to our north and northeast. This is air quality alerts from Minneapolis all the way over to Boston. That's over 1,200 miles worth of air quality alerts, and we'll talk more about that coming up in Maine weather. But forecast for tonight with those spot showers, we'll see partly cloudy to eventually mostly clear skies, temperatures in the 80s and then into the 70s. Beatrice, your Shones roofing cam looking at 90 degrees. With the dew point is 67, so a little bit of humidity out there with those temperatures in the middle and upper 80s and lower 90s. And that dew point at 71 in Lincoln, 71 in Nebraska City. The rest of us in the 60s with a southeast wind at 5 to 15. There's the showers. They're trying to make their way from south to north. Won't amount to much, but every now and then a brief downpour, a possibility. We'll talk more about that in the rest of your week forecast in a few.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Developing now, President Trump is set to speak in just a few hours. He's putting the finishing touches on his speech as we take you a live look here at the White House. The big topic, election security, and what the White House says is a true tenet of our democracy.
I would encourage everyone to tune in tonight. I've seen a lot of reporting and frankly misreporting about what the president will say. I think the American people will be relieved to hear what they are hearing from the president of the United States and his commitment to transparency and the focus on the integrity of our elections tonight.
The White House press secretary says the president will be making a very important announcement. Several of the major networks have decided not to air the address. So we wanted to know, how often does this happen and how much has it happened in recent history? Here's Channel 8 anchor Andrew Ward.
Here's how the process works when it comes to these decisions. Presidential addresses often begin with the White House press secretary or communications director contacting that network's Washington bureau chiefs. They ask for a specific amount of time and offer a general description of the topic. Now, from there, conversations are relayed up to the network executives, and they weigh whether to preempt or delay programming. Tonight's case is not the first time this has happened. We found an Associated Press article. It states, in 2022, major broadcast networks ABC, CBS, and NBC declined to air a speech by then-President Joe Biden in which he warned about threats to democracy, deeming it more political than newsworthy for live coverage. The major broadcast networks also declined to air a primetime address by former President Barack Obama in which he presented his immigration reform plan in 2014, saying the speech was too overtly political to broadcast. For Channel 8 News, I'm Andrew Ward.
And we want to know what voters think. So we put up this web poll on KLKNTV.com. Are you concerned about election security? Head over to our website and vote now. We're going to have results tonight at 6 o'clock. Breaking now, a new series of strikes as we come on the air tonight. The U.S. is once again attacking Iran. This is a post from CENTCOM saying this is the 6th consecutive night to further degrade Iranian military capabilities. We do expect President Trump to also discuss the war tonight in his primetime address. Well, at this hour, Lincoln police searching for answers after a body was found in Lincoln this morning. It was around here at Antelope Creek near the Billy Wolf Trail. Police say they discovered and removed the body of a man in a storm drain. Citizen journalist Bryce rushing there, grabbing this video of that scene for us. You can see a first responder on the scene as well. Now, according to police, the body belongs to a 37-year-old man. They are waiting to notify his family before revealing his name to the public. Citizen journalist Melanie also capturing this video shortly after the grim discovery. Right now, we do not know how the man died, but police say their criminal investigations unit is working to find out. We're keeping an eye on this. We'll let you know as soon as the name and cause of death are released. Well, right now, a new plan to accelerate agricultural growth along Interstate 80. The Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development is teaming up with the Greater Omaha Chamber to create the Ag Works Corridor to power growth in one of the most productive ag regions in the world. Channel 8's Meg West joins us now here in the studio with a look at a new tool the group launched today. Meg.
Good evening, Rod. Yes, the Ag Works Corridor was created to connect these 11 counties here. You, of course, can see us there in Lancaster with that star. It's to connect these counties across Nebraska and some in Iowa along I-80 with the resources, innovation, and investment to help the region emerge as the leader in ag across the Midwest. The group believes that by working as a region, they're able to help companies scale faster. Here's a look at their brand new website launched today. They say it's a tool to connect and support companies from the startup stage through full-scale commercialization. They say companies benefit from immediate access to feedstock, livestock production, and agricultural inputs to support large-scale manufacturing, food production, biofuels, and more. The president of Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development says in part, quote, the I-80 corridor between Lincoln and Omaha represents Nebraska's greatest engine for economic opportunity, adding that the collective resources in the community offer a compelling investment opportunity for businesses. The Ag Works Corridor says that a connected network of producers and processors means lower transportation costs, stronger supply chains, and greater efficiency. You can find out more information about this project under the links we mentioned tab on our website, klkntv.com. In the studio, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
All right. Thank you so much, Meg. The push continues tonight to get Meadow Lane Pool open again after years of closure. We've been following the battle for a comeback. The City Council is also deciding whether to help with funding. The photo here next to me is how it looked years ago, and this is what Meadow Lane Pool looks like today. It was closed about 3 years ago when it was a private pool after nearly 6 decades of wear and tear. It would become a public pool if it reopens. Neighbors have raised nearly $700,000 to help rebuild, but they say they'll need more money, and they want people to reach out to their council member and ask them to vote in favor of the project. They'll be meeting on Monday to decide, and we'll let you know how they vote. We have a lot more for you tonight, and that includes help from home. Why a rescue team from Nebraska is heading to Texas. That's coming up tonight on the news at 6 o'clock. And coming up next, closing the gap. Why all eyes are fixed on the latest group of recruits kicking off their journey to become officers. Plus, how they'll change the stats of the department. Stay with us.
As governor, Pete Ricketts ended Nebraska's tax on Social Security benefits. But Ricketts was just getting started. In the Senate, Ricketts led the fight to cut taxes on Social Security benefits for every single senior in America. Nebraska seniors paid in their whole life, from Lincoln to Washington. Pete Ricketts made sure they're never taxed twice. Call Pete Ricketts. Thank him for protecting Nebraska seniors and cutting taxes on Social Security benefits.
If your basement walls are peeling, that is not appealing. So this is water damage?
Yes, sir. That's water damage.
How many people right now have compromised their basement brought on by water?
Oh, the majority. I mean, water is the enemy of a home.
Right.
But it's better to have it assessed to give you that ease of mind.
Sure.
Inspections are free. Might as well just give us a call to help.
Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the official foundation repair company of the Huskers.
Sopatopia, Lincoln's newest state-of-the-art fusion-powered car wash tunnel, has 6 fusion levels to erase those pesky bugs and hard-to-get grimy spots, leaving your car squeaky clean. Add a ceramic coating and add a molecular-level 3-layer durable shield that repels dirt, droppings, contaminants, and water for a superior, longer-lasting shine. But what really makes Sopatopia the best car wash in town is how cool you're going to feel after.
Let's go again!
Pete Ricketts is used to getting things paid for. Born into a billionaire family, Ricketts spent millions of his dad's money bankrolling his campaigns. That's why Ricketts doesn't mind voting to increase our costs. Tariff taxes, gas prices through the roof, cuts to Medicaid, and closing rural hospitals. In Pete Ricketts' world, when things cost more, Dad just picks up the tab. Tell Senator Ricketts Nebraskans pay our own way. Bring down our costs now.
Bringing you the most comprehensive local coverage dedicated to serving our community and bringing Lincoln nothing but the best. When you need local trustworthy news, the answer is simple. KLKN, bringing you Nebraska now.
Heartland of Nebraska Windows is proud to offer the lowest prices for high-quality windows. You can buy more expensive windows from a bigger company, but can't buy windows from a better company than Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Call today for your free estimate.
Berry Law, founded and operated by American veterans and patriots.
I'm Pete Ricketts, and I approve this message.
One vote can make a big difference.
Like Pete Ricketts' vote to cut taxes for working people.
Dan Osborne would have voted to raise those taxes.
You know, if I would have beaten Deb Fisher in 2024, the big, beautiful bill would have never have passed.
That would mean taxes on my tips.
On my overtime.
On my Social Security. More money out of our pockets.
Higher taxes for working Nebraskans? That's the real Dan Osborne.
Nebraskans can't afford fake Dan Osborne.
Right now, a huge piece of Nebraska history has a new life tonight. Take a look at this. The restored Pershing Auditorium mural out at Wyuka Cemetery is now complete. Citizen journalist Brian sending us this video to our Now Local News app. What a sight. After years of planning and raising more than $4 million, it's done. This mural, one of the largest in the world, is about 150 feet wide and about 40 feet tall. And today, the final glass tile was put up, and we were there for the big moment.
There it is. Look straight to everybody.
Yes, deserves a round of applause.
And there you go. A project that started 5 years ago is now complete. When the city decided to tear down Pershing Auditorium, a group of people made it their mission to save the massive mosaic made up of more than 760,000 glass tiles. And they did it, painstakingly removing and restoring each one and then bringing it to its new home at Wyuka Cemetery.
When you look at the size of the mural, you had to stay positive because I don't think anybody realized how big this mural was on the side of Pershing Auditorium. This project is memory-driven as far as the fundraising. Everybody has a memory of Pershing.
Putting up something like this, so big and with so much history, was a huge undertaking.
I think the most important challenge was maintaining the reverence necessary for it. You know, this isn't a kitchen backsplash. It's not, you know, a commercial job. It's a piece of art. So throughout the whole process, we had to remember that and respect that.
Volunteers behind the big project are now working on entering this into the Guinness Book of World Records.
It's one of the largest murals in the Western Hemisphere. And secondly, what we believe is the largest mural of its kind ever moved.
What a project. New tonight, a fresh batch of recruits kicking off their journey to become law enforcement officers in our city and county.
Even though you're sitting day one in the academy and you're not even close to solo patrol, we count you.
20 of them right here joining the Fall Police Academy, which kicked off today. Police telling us this class is unique because they represent an official end to a long-standing problem of short staffing faced by the department. According to LPD, when they earn their badges this fall, they will bring the number of staff at the department to 374. That's 101% of their 371 authorized strength.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
As expected, spot storms on and off throughout the day, and you can still see a few of them trying to rumble their way across southeast Nebraska on our Barry Law Cam. We'll take whatever rain we can get. Now, first I want to talk about the smoke problem. Wildfires in Canada, and we're talking hundreds of them in areas that are really hard to get to, is going to drag down smoke all the way over to Boston. So this area right here, notice we're on the edge, but all of this should stay away from us for now. As soon as that wind shifts, though, we could have some issues, but it doesn't look like it wants to shift all the way through Friday. And this is, you see it pushing off to the east a little bit, another wave here. This is by late Friday night, tomorrow night. So because of that, I don't remember seeing air quality this bad. It's all the way to hazardous in many spots, from unhealthy to very unhealthy to hazardous, which means don't go outside, all the way to the north and east. We're doing okay over here, but goodness, everybody off to our north and east, all the way into the east coast, just incredible. Temperatures right now are in the 80s and 90s. We did top out at 91 in Lincoln, and then it rained on the airport and cooled everything down for a little bit. But dew points a little high, middle and upper 60s to around 70, so the heat index in the lower 90s for all of us. The wind shifting around a little bit. Those isolated showers and thunderstorms moving the wind around. There's a little line right there. Spot showers in Gage County over here towards Otoe County, trying to move into Nebraska City. A line here if you're headed from Lincoln to Omaha or vice versa. You might run into a shower, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Zooming way out, though, this is why this area of high pressure is bringing that instability into our neck of the woods. So showers and thunderstorms going to continue here, and even over towards North Platte into Lincoln County, seeing some isolated showers and thunderstorms. Stormcast looks like this. Not a whole lot as we head through the overnight into tomorrow. If we see another batch of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, it might be right here, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Doesn't look like that'll amount to much. Maybe over here as well in the northwestern corner of the state by Friday evening, but most of us look like we'll remain dry Friday night. Temperatures tonight right around 70. So a warm start to the day, and then high temperatures tomorrow. This is just really the beginning of things really starting to push up a little bit. We'll be 92 on Friday, 96, 98, 98, 92. So this right here, if you have access to a pool, highly suggest it. But look at this, we cool off as a couple of small chances for precipitation move our way. We'll see those temperatures eventually fall into the middle 80s by the end of next week.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Coming up new at 6, cyclospora hitting home. Not only are there confirmed cases here in Lancaster County, central Nebraska has also seen cases caused by the produce parasite. An update at 6. Stay with us.
Tonight.
Tonight, air quality alerts in multiple states, blankets of thick, hazy skies from raging wildfires, and the dangerous heat. Plus, the war with Iran as the battle over the Strait of Hormuz escalates. World News Tonight with David Muir is the #1 newscast in America.
Chevy drivers across America will do a lot in the next 5 years. But one thing they won't do is pay interest on their new Chevy. Right now, get 0% financing for 5 years on all 2026 Silverado 1500 models. With no payments for 90 days. Because you've earned this summer. Now it's time to go get it.
Visit your Greater Nebraska Chevy dealers today.
The process of making chocolate, it's 1 degree Celsius makes a difference on whether it's going to turn out or not. We want to grow, we want to continue to get bigger, but we will not compromise or sacrifice quality.
For generations, we've been here, caring for our community. From our roots as Tabitha to who we are today as Eventide, our mission has never changed. We're your local, trusted partner in home health and hospice care, supporting you when it matters most, guided by faith, grounded in compassion, and committed as a nonprofit to put people first. Eventide, care you can trust when you need it most.
When you pay more for healthcare, gas, and groceries, remember the corrupt politicians from both parties who profit from your pain. In less than 4 years in Washington, Pete Ricketts increased his own net worth by nearly 30% while raising costs for you. To fight corruption and lower costs, declare your independence. Dan Osborne, veteran, mechanic, lifelong independent for Senate. Working Class Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's Christmas in July at Schaefer's, and Santa's not dinking around this year. Get store-wide savings that are a smash in every department. Save big on top-name mattresses in the Sleep Gallery, up to 48 months interest-free. Score amazing deals on all high-def TVs and audio systems. And we're not leaving out the kitchen with Santa-sized savings on all appliances. Plus, get free local delivery on any purchase $7.99 and up during the final days of Schaefer's Original.
Christmas in July.
Don't let the temperature outside fool you. Now is the best time to get your fireplace ready for the holidays. Fireplace service calls are at a peak during the holiday season, and you could wait 3 weeks or more for service. But if you call today, you'll avoid the wait and save money too. Fireplace Stone and Patio's friendly, professional service people will inspect and clean your fireplace and make sure it's in tip-top shape and safe for your family. Don't be left out in the cold. Call and schedule your appointment today and save. Fireplace Stone and Patio.
Spot showers and thunderstorms trying to get going. Not a thunderstorm yet. There may be 1 or 2 bolts of lightning out there, but overall this is just rain showers for now. But there are some storms just south of Beatrice that are trying to move into Gage County, so we'll keep an eye on that. Temperature-wise, we are looking at 86 degrees in Lincoln, 89 in Beatrice, 90 in Hebron. Tomorrow morning, we'll see those overnight low temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A little bit warmer tomorrow. I think we'll make it into the lower and maybe the middle 90s. That heat index creeping up there a little bit. A lot of middle 90s for the heat index tomorrow.
All right, we'll be prepared. Thank you, Rusty, and thank you for joining us. World News is next, and we'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
Come see us at our new South Point location. Locally owned, comfort-made mattress factory, handcrafted, built right here, and backed with a lifetime comfort guarantee.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app. Earn points and redeem them for gift cards. Scan the QR code to join. Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Get an 11% rebate on everything when you shop at Menards. Choose from our wide selection of colorful flowers, lush trees, shrubs, and everything in between. Plus, you can pick up tools and decor to keep your garden green and growing. Yardworks offers a variety of tools to keep your outdoor space beautiful, like this medium-duty garden hose. Its ergonomic design makes it easy to connect to any outdoor spigot. Get it today for a value of $14.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
There's DNA. Then there's heavy-duty DNA. HDNA.
It's engineered into every aspect of the GMC Sierra HD. So when the job is heavy, GMC Sierra HD reports for duty. Get 4.9% APR plus $2,000 purchase cash on 2026 GMC Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. Visit these Central Nebraska GMC dealers.
It's Hy-Vee's Protein Sale this Friday through Sunday. Get protein-packed savings on hundreds of items across the store. Hy-Vee eggs, 99 cents. Fresh hand-trimmed chicken breasts from our service case, $2.99 a pound. Dannon Greek yogurt, 99 cents. Hy-Vee cottage cheese, $1.98. Salmon fillets, $4.99. Save on First Form sticks, protein pints, and Core Power. Friday through Sunday. Plus, get pickup and delivery in as fast as 30 minutes at Hy-Vee.
Bringing you the most comprehensive local coverage dedicated to serving our community and bringing Lincoln nothing but the best. When you need local trustworthy news, the answer is simple. KLKN, bringing you Nebraska now.
Comfort Made Mattress Factory's Free for All sale just extended. Right now, receive a free foundation, free bed frame, free delivery, and free installation with qualified mattress purchase $895 or more. Stop by family-owned Comfort Made Mattress Factory today.
Hey, I bet you can hit a ball past that tree.
$20 says you can't.
Oh my God, you got a hold of that one.
$20 says you can't hit it further.
Look at this stupid thing.
Hit that roof.
Get back to work.
Beginner's luck. $20 says you can't do it again.
Bring it on.
Holy.
You guys are gonna pay for that!
You just hit that guy.
He shouldn't have been standing there.
The National High School Finals Rodeo is riding into Lincoln.
Tonight, breaking news. Dangerous smoke from hundreds of Canadian wildfires triggering air quality alerts across 19 states. City skylines disappearing in the haze from Chicago to New York to Boston. The American cities now with some of the worst air quality in the world. Also breaking tonight, the flash flood emergency in Texas. A deadly wave of water forcing evacuations. Chaotic images showing a massive water main break flooding a famous American street. Hundreds of cars feared damaged or destroyed. A gaping sinkhole left behind. Late today, the NTSB releasing new details on that horrific helicopter crash here in New York, killing a CEO, his wife, and their 3 children. Could a bird strike have caused the accident? Just in tonight, news about the parasitic illness affecting thousands in multiple states, what we're now learning. Tonight, sources telling ABC News a White House teleprompter operator allegedly made $100,000 betting on President Trump's speeches. President Trump preparing to address the nation in prime time. After years of pushing false claims about the 2020 election, the president saying he will have a, quote, very big announcement. Also tonight, 2 deputies are recovering after being shot in what authorities are calling an ambush. A small plane crashing into a pond. Witnesses rushing to the scene, trying to flip over the plane and save the pilot. And Jalen Brunson leading the Knicks to victory once again, this time at the ESPY Awards.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, I'm Mary Bruce in for David. We begin tonight with breaking news and the dangerous smoke from more than 800 wildfires burning across Canada, now triggering air quality alerts in at least 19 states. Chicago now topping the list of major cities with some of the worst air quality in the world. The skies turning orange. Quality alerts there extended through at least tomorrow. Detroit coming in right behind Chicago, thick smoke blanketing the city today. Here in New York City, clouds of smoke hanging over the famous skyline. Passenger planes navigating through the smoke, landing at LaGuardia Airport. Pilots in Philadelphia reporting ash sticking to the cockpit windshield. Residents from the Midwest to the Northeast urged to take precautions and limit their time outside. The smoke expected to drift further south tomorrow. ABC's Matt Rivers leads us off.
Tonight, massive plumes of smoke from those fires in Canada choking the upper Midwest and Northeast for a second straight day.
I have asthma, and so I
I might be a little bit more concerned than other people.
Millions under air quality alerts in at least 19 states. New York City is handing out free KN95 masks at public libraries like this one and police and fire stations. The smoke, combined with this oppressive heat wave, is a dangerous pairing, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. Chicago recording some of the worst air quality in the world among major cities.
When you get to these burgundy dots, that's hazardous.
A Delta flight capturing the smoke-clogged skies over New York City, the pilot alerting passengers.
So if you do smell that little bit of smoke, that's what we're going through right now. But just want to let you guys know that's from the wildfires out west.
At Philadelphia International Airport, the low visibility triggering flight delays. Ash sticking to an American Airlines plane in flight.
Yeah, it's adhering to the windshield. I've never seen it stick to the windshield like this.
Tonight, more than 180 fires ablaze in Ontario, Canada alone. An American visiting the area seeing the inferno up close.
We're getting out of here, getting a little too close for comfort.
Also contributing to the orange haze, at least 9 fires in northern Minnesota. Officials warning some fires could burn for months.
There will be some fire on the ground in some form or fashion, along with smoke, until it snows.
Mary, this hazardous smoke is expected to linger for at least a few more days as it pushes further south toward Virginia and Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, here in New York City, officials continue to hand out free N95 masks just like this one to anyone who wants one. Mary?
So important to take those precautions, Matt. Thank you. That smoke now making its way south. So let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Hey, Lee.
Hey, Mary, and that smoky smell is unmistakable here in New York. We've had it since last night. We'll deal with it in tomorrow morning, and then we'll get a little bit of relief. Let's look at the air quality alerts. They go all the way from the upper Midwest into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, and timing it out, still extreme tonight from Minnesota to Michigan, right here to New York City and into southern New England. Now, by tomorrow, it dips farther south, like you said, Mary, Ohio down to Virginia. A front Friday afternoon in the Midwest and the Great Lakes. That brings thunderstorms and clears the smoke out by Saturday morning. It'll